Hey, what's up YouTube? Donovan the Smartphone Guy here to do a video review of the LeEco S3. So you can see that I have both LeEco, Le Pro 3 and the S3. So I want to do just a quick comparison, but then the rest of this video is going to be focused on my first impressions after one day of usage of the S3. So I used the Le Pro 3 for about 2 full weeks, and I did a full review which I'll leave in a card right up here for you to check out. So awesome phone, very much worth the money. On Black Friday and over Cyber Weekend you could get that for $250. It's now back up to I think $300, but still a fantastic deal for $300. And then this one I got on Cyber Monday I believe for $129, and right now it's $169. Either way, I think they're both a great deal. I don't know if I'd pay the full price because I think they want $250 and $400 regular price, or maybe it's $250 and $400 at regular price. Don't buy it. I mean, they're still worth those prices, but you can always get the deals, it seems like, on their website. So I'm going to go ahead and just talk about the differences real quick, and then we'll go ahead and jump into the S3. Because it's going to be short once we get to the S3, because for the most part they're very similar phones. So first of all, they both have 5.5-inch HD displays, so that's 1080p. They both have, well, this one has the Qualcomm Snapdragon 821 processor, so the newest processor you can get from Qualcomm, and this has the mid-range 652. Now let me just say this, that in real world usage you're probably not going to notice the difference. I've been using this for a full day now, and I came off of this phone for 2 weeks basically, and in real world usage I don't notice a difference in the processing speed. That's just something I've noticed. So I might do a video later on where I actually compare the processing speeds of the two, but so far I would say I haven't really noticed the difference. Now, one of the big differences would be the onboard storage. So this one has 32 gigs RAM, this one has 64 gigs RAM, and there's no expansion for that. So with the S3 you're stuck with 32 gigs, and with the Pro 3 you're stuck with the 64 gigs of storage. So that's something to keep in mind. This one has 3 gigs of RAM, 4 gigs of RAM, and other than that we have a 16 megapixel camera on the back of this one, same as this one, and then on the front we have a 8 megapixel camera on both of them, and they both have the same front firing speaker up at the top and a bottom firing speaker as well, and that's the Dolby Atmos surround sound, which it sounds pretty good. I'm not going to say it's the best speakers I've ever heard on a smartphone, but they definitely are good. I would compare it very similar to like the HTC 10 in terms of sound quality. So this one has a massive 4070 milliamp hour battery, where this one only has a 3000 milliamp hour battery. So we'll talk about the battery and what you're losing there as well a little bit later on. So they both come with Qualcomm Quick Charge 3.0, and both charge extremely fast, so that's fantastic. So I'm going to go ahead and push the LeEco Le Pro 3 out of the way, because now we're going to focus on specifically the S3 and what you get in this package. So I guess one thing I should mention though is if you look at these two phones, they look very similar for the most part, but you'll notice that this one is far more glossy. This one has much more of a matte finish. This is the S3, this is the Pro 3. And then one other thing I notice is that feel in the hand, this one is a lot more rounded. And if you hold the S3, the curves they're not quite as rounded, and they're more sharp. You can actually feel those a little bit. So I actually picked up the silicone case. This was 99 cents when I bought the phone, so I picked that up to go with it. Another difference between the two is this also is a dual SIM phone, where the Pro 3 is only a single SIM. So that's a big difference as well. They're both nano SIMs, so you can pop out that SIM tray. I'm not going to do it because I have my Cricket SIM in there now, but there is dual SIMs in this one as well. So that would be another big difference. But other than that, basically identical phones. So let's go ahead and turn this one on. So we got their fingerprint scanner. And again, we have the software of LeEco, and it's very heavily influenced by their ecosystem. They call it the LeEco ecosystem, and as a result you have these things like this live option here, and you can go in and it's based on entertainment. It's an entertainment device, which is why it's nice that it has those dual speakers as well. So you can go in here and you can watch some live TV. You can just pick one and boom, it's on, and pretty awesome. So we can go into sports even and see what's available there. So what do we got? Some power, well, I don't even know. But yeah, so anyways, there's some options there. You can see that there are capacitive buttons here, and they do have the light up, but otherwise they're just kind of there. And I do like the feedback you get with them, but sometimes you might find yourself like tapping on the side and not actually getting to them. So that's a little bit of a frustration, but it's not bad. Overall, I mean, shoot, I paid $129 for this phone. I'm willing to put up with a couple of little minor bugs, but other than that, it really is a pretty fantastic phone. So software-wise, again, you're getting that LeEco ecosystem for better or worse. There's some cool things about it, some not so great things about it. One thing that I'll point out, if you've seen this before, so we have the notification shade. Shout out to Tech Talk, just joined that up today. So I've been involved in that conversation a little bit today. But anyways, so going back to the phone and the ecosystem, it's a pretty heavily skinned version of Android. This is Android 6.0.1, so we have Marshmallow in there, but pretty heavily skinned. Right now it's running the October patch for that. So I'm going to go ahead and show you something that's very different about this system. And so if we go down here into that, what would be the recent button, so the recent apps. So we have our recent apps here, but that's how we get to our software keys here. So we can get up to like we have our flashlight, we have our camera, that'll jump you right to the camera. We do have an IR blaster on the top, so this button right here will get us to the IR blaster right away, and calculator, and so there's just some various options up here that we can scroll through. We got some music controls, and then some of our quick settings here, quick toggles, so we can turn GPS, battery savings on, hotspot, Bluetooth, things like that. And then we have our brightness, and so the screen does get very bright, probably too bright for my screen right now for my camera. So anyways, that's how you're going to get into those quick settings. That's something that takes getting used to, but honestly, after using the LePro 3 for 2 weeks, I totally got used to it. It wasn't anything that bothered me at all about the phone. So in terms of camera quality, you're going to get the same camera that you get with the LePro 3, but you don't get the autofocus, as far as I can tell. It's still basically, for me, comparing shots between the two phones, I don't really notice a difference, which is to say, in good lighting, the camera quality is good. You're going to get excellent photo quality out of it, but in low quality or low lighting, the camera quality is still decent, but definitely not good. And I did a full video review where I actually showed some shots of the LePro 3 and the camera quality in some low light and some better lighting as well. And it's good, but definitely not flagship good, not Samsung or the LG V20 good, or even the Google Pixel phone XL or the Pixel phone. So it's not that good, but it's still, for a mid-range phone, definitely a good camera. So software-wise, not fantastic, but again, I just run a launcher on it. So I did have a launcher on it, but I wanted to show you what the software looked like on here. I use Nova Launcher personally, and gets rid of this software options here. Gets rid of that live button, which I don't personally use. I like having my app drawer there, so yeah. But anyways, so let's talk about battery life, because obviously that one has a much larger battery than this phone does. And so what's the battery life like? So this is my first full day of using it, and right now I'm at, let's see, 35% battery. So I'll go in here and look at my screen on time, and you'll see that screen on time is really quite good so far. So my screen on time at the moment has been 3.5 hours. So you figure at 35% left over, I'm probably going to get about 5 hours of screen on time, which is pretty darn good. It compares with, I mean, for a 3,000 milliamp hour battery phone, other phones that I've used with 3,000 milliamp hour batteries don't get me anywhere near 5 hours of screen on time. So I would say that what I'm getting so far with this phone seems to be pretty darn good. The fingerprint sensor is the same one that you get on the Pro 3, works very well, but the response time is not the fastest. It's not the slowest, but it's definitely not the fastest either. So I'll go ahead and show you that. So let's look at this. I'll go ahead and kind of do a countdown just to show you what it looks like. So in 3, 2, 1. All right, so you see how slow that was. It's not the fastest responding fingerprint sensor, but it does the job, and it's accurate. It's a very accurate fingerprint sensor, but it's not the fastest response for sure. So other than that, in terms of that processor, like I said, I don't really notice a big difference. So if I'll go into Chrome here, that's my affiliate account. Let's go to something different. Okay, so here's some of my videos, but you can just scroll through, and yeah, it's pretty quick. And we'll go into, let's check out a video here. Alright, so let's just listen to the sound quality. So, here's my full review of the LeEco LePro 3. Crank this up. What's up, YouTube? It's Donovan, the smartphone guy, here to do a full review of the LeEco LePro 3. And this is a phone that I've been using as my exclusive phone for roughly about a week, and I've posted a number of videos about this phone. But this is my full review after about a week of usage, and I'm going to say this. Okay, so the volume is definitely good on that. So I think that about covers everything that I wanted to go over with this. You're not losing much. Honestly, in daily usage, I don't feel like I've switched phones. I feel like I basically have the same phone as the Pro 3, which is to say, if you can get this thing for $129, why not? And for $169, even right now you can go on the website and get it for $169. I just think it's a crazy good deal. And so if you don't want to spend the $250, which I think the LePro 3 when it was $250 was just a phenomenal deal. If you can get this thing for even $150, I got it for $130 or $129. If you can get it for like $170, that's still a fantastic deal for this phone because it can do so much, and you're really not going to notice much of a daily difference between this and the Pro 3. So I give this right now 2 enthusiastic thumbs up for the LeEco S3, there we go. But definitely a phone worth checking out in my opinion. So thanks for watching. Hopefully this has been helpful for you. Please subscribe to this channel right down here, right there. And as always, stay classy and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.